In every era, the world government has attempted to recover the gum gum fruit, and not once has it ever succeeded for 800 years. In addition to the Buccaneer Boy serving as a super rare rabbit, in this contest we have another target who's been found at long last after 800 years, the Davy clan. In other words, what I know is an incomplete story of that 100-year void. It would be dishonest to fill the blanks with my own speculation, so I will leave you with only the verified truth. The main character of this story was born into a kingdom with an impossibly advanced civilization 900 years ago. Like the sun deity Nika, spoken of in Elbaf legend, he fought with a body that stretched and contracted. His name was Joy Boy. The man described himself as a worshiper of Davy Jones. He did not do anything more than this, as he knew he could not. But before he departed, he left with a warning. I will be back right here. And lastly, the truth is I've got a hidden name. Davy D. Zebek. It's the name of a clan that I suspect the world government has long tried to cover up. The descendants of the legendary pirate Davy D. Jones. So you may be wondering, why have I quoted the manga so many times in succession? Well, I think Davy D. Jones was the first pirate and went by Joy Boy back in his heyday. This means it's possible that his pirate career ran for a full century, because it is said that Joy Boy was born at the start of the Void Century, and the Void Century lasted for 100 years. Now we know that the Gum Gum fruit, later to be known as the human fruit model Nika, went missing and was evading the government for 800 years, up until the point of which Luffy got it from Shanks. So with all that being said, I could believe that one, Davy D. Jones was a member of this ancient kingdom. During the time that he was active, he discovered piracy while the kingdom that he was a part of probably was falling into ruin. So this means that the title of Joy Boy was just his pirate epithet at the time, which makes a lot of sense because Luffy, the current Joy Boy, goes by the epithet of Straw Hat. Very few people actually call him by his name the world over. So I could see why Davy D. Jones would be called Joy Boy. But it's likely that during that 100 years, his kingdom perhaps fell into ruin, and he was trying to perhaps save his kingdom through piracy or something of the sort. However, his adventures were probably being charted down by various people as he encountered many cultures over his time at sea. These adventures were then perhaps destroyed, but to preserve them for future generations, they were most likely depicted in the poneglyphs. Seeing as how these stones are near indestructible, they couldn't be erased, but they could be gathered up, and I believe they were. However, thanks to Nefertiti D. Lily, they were scattered again, and therefore the legacy of Joy Boy, otherwise known as Davy D. Jones, lives on into the present. During this time, he was the user of the human fruit model Nika, and therefore perpetuate the legend of Nika further. But I do believe Nika himself, meaning the deity, has been in existence since before the Void Century, because I'm willing to believe all the legends that mythical Devil Fruits are based off of existed way before the Void Century. So with that being said, he, using the powers of the human fruit model Nika, went on his exploits as a pirate in a similar fashion to Luffy, and was the main enemy of the world government. However, somehow, some way, he failed but left a legacy, and that legacy is the rest of the Davy clan. Now, I do think at this time there were other members of the D clan about, but I can't really speak on what they were doing at this time or how prominent they were during the time of Davy D. Jones. Now, another thing we know is possible is that people in One Piece can live to up to over a century, looking at Dr. Kureha, who's over 120 years old. So it's very possible that a regular human like Davy D. Jones could have lived all that time using the power of the human from model Nika. So with that being said, that's the long and the short of what I think, because I don't think it's a secret that one, we have a repetition of 800 years being brought up consistently, and two, we know that Joy Boy existed during the time of the Void Century, and based on the long lifespan of humans in One Piece, could have lived for over a century only to fall to the growing organization calling themselves the world government, most likely. But with that being said, give me your thoughts and tell your friends about Polypede. What?